Do I feel good today? Are we good? Yeah, we're good. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the DTL universe. We're live every single day right here on Stadium, the world over. Wherever you find Stadium, you will find us. Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app. My crew's all over that. We continue to grow. In just 2 weeks, we've got another big platform that is coming, announcement coming very, very soon. Now, I'm your boy, the coach. I navigate through these 60 minutes every single day. Now, do not forget tonight, also live here on Stadium. We get started week 8 of the NFL season. It is the Vikings. It is the Rams. We have DTL Prime Time live right here on Stadium with me and the crew. Now, we always look back at our day from Wednesday. How did we do yesterday with Vince and Tommy C? And look at this, a little 4-3 day. Hey, we'll take a little bit of a profit on a Wednesday, but that's not good enough. We need to be better today. And do not forget, we've got content coming out of our ears. The easiest way to do it is subscribe to our YouTube page. Turn on those notifications, and every single time we start any content, you will be notified. Just like with our brand new DTL, the podcast, had a meeting with Pantheon yesterday, our partners, and they are ecstatic. We're also going to be rolling out new content there, audio 2 p.m. Eastern every single day. For you crew members, there's a lot of new members today. You get the video of the podcast as well. Now, as always, we always remember our good friend Howie Schwab. God rest his soul. We always have the crew play of the day. Here are the selections, and they are coming from Thursday Night Football. The Vikings, currently 2.5, Rams plus 2.5, or do you prefer the total at over 48 or under 48? Give it a vote. We will reveal the selection at the end of the show. Now, you guys know here on Thursdays, we got a lot of energy, a lot of positivity. I need all of you watching on our YouTube channel to hit that like button on the way in and keep it popping. Any questions, put them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We got a ton of content. All 4 sports are being played right now. So without further ado, it is time for the picks. Oh, and I got 3 of my absolute very best today. First and foremost, the man from the dirty. Been busy with Champions League soccer this week. Big Chuck, good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach Crew. Yeah, it's nice to be back. A busy day yesterday. Then today is loaded. It's just a large amount of plays on the board. So excited to get it going.
I'm excited to get it going, too. Now, he is our numbers guy. And I tell you all the time, he makes odds for literally everything. Raphael, I do not envy you because you sent me over an email this morning. You're all over the president on Joe Rogan's podcast. You're making odds for that?
Sometimes when you answer your text, you're in trouble. That's all I got to say, because the odds, the books wanted it, and most likely the money is cleared and I have to do it. So, yeah, it was very interesting research on that one. Very, very interesting. I've watched a lot of old Joe Rogan podcasts.
I say it all the time. We grind 24/7. That's what we do here, is what the crew does at home. But your grind is a different kind of grind. Now, this man, he's about to be even busier as well, because Weekend Wagers, which he hosts now, will be a crew exclusive starting on Friday. But also last night, I'm seeing all these highlights of Ja. The man's back in great shape. This man hosts the Grizzlies postgame show down there in Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, DG.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Last night was the season opener for the Grizzlies. It was out in Utah, so it was a little bit later. So I was up till 1 a.m. just doing a stupid show. So glad to be up here early in the morning. The kids, they never sleep in. It's a school day. So we're up at 5:30 again. You know, we don't sleep around here.
Real quick, I know that later this week we're going to be talking about the MVP race in the NBA. I always feel like this is the one opening day or opening days that gets overshadowed because it's in the NFL. I mean, the number 1 pick played last night and got no attention whatsoever. How did Ja look last night to you?
Ja looked good. Ja looked refreshed. And if anybody's watching a lot of the NBA, you're going to see a lot of these people that are the younger talent starting to kind of take that crown from those older guys that are on their way out. So it's a good dynamic of the old guard and the new guard coming in. So it's beautiful to watch. And Ja was he looked refreshed last night.
He did. At least to me, he had that spring in his step. Mm-hmm. This guy is, a top 5 player when he's got his head right. So we'll be all over the NBA the entire season with my man DG. All right, guys, we're officially kind of what I call halfway through the NFL season because there's 17 weeks. I always call week 8 the halfway point. And tonight we got a really good one for a lot of different reasons. It's Sean McVay and one of his former assistants. 5, in fact, have become NFL head coaches. But, Raphael, I want to start with you because you're always our numbers guy. And this number has kind of been floating around 2.5 to 3. Now it's back to 2.5 over there at DraftKings. And the Vikings are coming off their first loss of the year against who I believe to be the best team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. How in 4 days after that really physical matchup do the Vikings bounce back against a 2-4 Rams team?
I just think the Vikings just need to play their type of game. And this game is – number-wise, is beautiful to watch as an odds maker and a trader back in the day because 2.5 at DraftKings, but most other books have 3+ money on the Rams. That should be telling you that the books want all Rams money now because everyone's betting everyone's betting the Vikings and they want Rams money right now. You can get the Vikings at -3 plus 115. You don't see that. That's just telling me how much money the Rams is coming in. It's lovely to see how the books are trading to try to balance that two-way action today.
Yeah, when you talk about sharps or the pros, they hate shows like us because we use the words like trends and what is happening. The trends don't matter. But this year, DG, in the NFL, we've really started to see home field doesn't mean a whole lot. Prime time has been completely different than daytime games. And the Vikings, maybe the biggest surprise of the entire NFL, they were the last undefeated NFC team. They've got Sam Darnold, who could do nothing anywhere else, and now he's playing like a big-time quarterback. And, of course, they got Justin Jefferson. He got his bag, and now you don't hear anything from him. The Vikings in a very difficult division, but I think they've got the right mindset and really surprised all of us.
Yeah, the Vikings have surprised me for sure. Sam Darnold has surprised me for sure as well. But I'm also looking at the storylines around this entire game. It's Cooper Kupp. Is he going out? But it's also, is Darnold going to be, I guess, passed over and they're going to bring in Matt Stafford in a trade? Like, there is so much going on behind the scenes, let alone on the field. I'm excited to watch the game in general, but leading up to it and afterwards, there's so much off the field news that's going to come out.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all that specifically tonight on Primetime Live. But Big Chuck, Cooper Kupp has missed 4 games. In the last couple of years, he's been considered a top 3 wide receiver in the entire NFL. Do you think this potentially could be the last game in a Rams uniform for Cooper Kupp?
I hope not. I like his fit in the Rams, but if he does have to move on, the team that takes him on does assume a little bit of risk because it's hard for him to stay on the field. And he's consistently been going out since 2021. So there is risk that comes along with it. I like his partnership with Stafford with the Rams. So I'd like to see him continue his career with the Rams. But if he moves on, I'd definitely like to see where his next landing spot is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to see where his next landing spot is. Shout out to Robbie. Nice little nugget in the chat. He says LA has given up 70+ rushing yards in every single game this season. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have full matchups here, rushing, receiving, and quarterbacks on DTL. But let's get to our picks for the day. We've got straight picks. We've got prop picks. There they are right there. Big Chuck, day soccer. That's what we're all about. So I need you. Let's start with your first 2, please.
The Europa League, it takes center stage today with Frankfurt, whose home matches average 4 total goals, while RFS averaged 2.4 goals during their travels. I expect a ton of scoring in this spot with the over 3.5 and RFS team total over half a goal. I think this side will contribute at least 1 along the way.
Did you give me 2?
Just first 2.
Okay, very good. I was just seeing if you knew that you gave us 2.
Oh,
RFS,
absolutely.
I'm not really familiar. I'm a soccer guy, but I'm not really familiar with RFS. I'm not.
They're from Latvia, Latvian side.
That's why they're from Latvia.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm not big on the Latvia Premier League as of yet. DG, big boy, you got 2 coming at you. What do you got?
Yeah, I read a book to my daughter Margot last night. It was Never Let a Unicorn Wear a Tutu. Well, so I had to go with Tutu Atwell over 36.5 receiving yards. It's at -115. Minnesota allows the second most receiving yards to the wide receiver. Well, Tutu, he's had 48 receiving yards in the last 5 games. I get it. Cooper Kupp's coming back, but I think Tutu Atwell will be a guy who is still going to be a possession receiver. Then we're going to go with Will Reichard over 7.5 kicking points. It's at minus 115. The model has him at 8.1 kicking points. We're over there, but he's also had 8+ kicking points in 4 or 6 games this season. I like him to kick some, but also we have that extra kicking point cover if for some reason they go crazy and score a lot of touchdowns. So I like Will Reichard over 7.5 kicking points at minus 115.
And we had a question last week. Do extra points count? 100% extra points count. DG, thank you very much. Now, Raphael, you're also sitting on 2 big plays today. What are we talking about?
Yeah, Coach, I read a book to my wife last night. It was called I'll See You After March Madness, and she told me to get out. So I have the Rams team total under 23.5 minus 120. They've only scored 20 points more in 4 straight games. They have not. Their offense is awful. They're averaging less than 20 points at home. They have no home field advantage anyways. I don't see them hitting the 20 mark, but be careful. I think the total is going to be bet up, so we can maybe get a better number by kickoff. So don't take the 23.5 now. Wait, we might be able to get 24.5 at a better number. And then I'm going to take a prop bet. Give me the Funk Master Williams. That's right, the Funk Master. I asked him if I can call him on the show. He said yes. His rushing attempts, 18.5. Wow, that is low, 18.5. Feed him the ball because at home, he's averaging over 20 rushing attempts at home. I think he has a big game.
I really do, too. All right. Now, for me, I've got 4 big plays tonight. I like the Celtics Wizards over 233. There are four NBA games today. Celtics made 29 3-pointers in their first game of the season. The Wizards last year, they were an over machine. And normally at the beginning of the season, you're starting to see really fresh legs. Guys are not worn out. I like that a lot. Then Jokic under 26.5 minus 105. This dude brags about being out of shape until December. He does not work out in the offseason. He's going to come in, not play as much. They're going to ease him in. I like to fade him tonight in game number 1 for the Nuggets. Then the Vikings. I like the money line, minus 148. A little juicy, but when you're talking 2.5 for 3, I want to throw that out the window. So for me, the juice is worth the squeeze. And then my last game, producer man, I still got to see that screen because my eyes are horrible. Bengals on the money line, minus 125. The Eagles just, to me, they're not that good. And I know they won 28-3 at the Giants last week, but this is what the Bengals do. The Bengals stumble out of the blocks, and then they say, panic mode, I got to win every single game. So I think they do that this week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Big Chuck in the chat, they missed you yesterday, but somebody said, hey, what would Chuck do? And then they played a Barcelona parlay. I don't know that you're really a parlay guy all that much. Are you?
Not really. Here and there, we'll put one out, but not really. I'll tend just to stick with just the straight plays. They've benefited me along the way a little bit more than parlays.
Very good. Now, I got 1 minute for you to give me your last 2, big boy. Let's go.
Portuguese Giants, Porto, they play host, averaging 2.6 team goals at home. And Bundesliga side Hoffenheim, they arrive producing 1 team goal on the road. We should see another shootout in this spot with both teams scoring over 2.5. Lastly, we arrive in North London, where Tottenham scores an average of 2.8 team goals on home soil, and their Dutch opponents, AZ Alkmaar, average 1.2 team goals away from home. Spurs always score at home, rarely keep clean sheets. I'll go ahead and roll with the over 3 to close out the soccer day.
Very, very good. Real quick, Mark, who's a part of Weekend Wagers, DG, I got 20 seconds. He's saying that his model has Tutu Atwell 40+ tonight, so he likes that over.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that FanDuel has now put out a lower number for Tutu at 31.5. I would say hit that hard because I think he does have 40+ tonight as well.
All right, shout out to Kevin. He says, make more money on straight plays. Good info from Charles, and Raphael was shaking his head in agreement. That's always the case. I love when we kind of trigger Raphael just a little bit. All right, we're just getting started here. Week 8 of the NFL. Good vibes, good energy on a Thursday. Still to come, we've got Educate and Entertain. A lot of NFL news today. Also, coming up in about 20 minutes, we compare running backs, receivers, quarterbacks. We're just getting started. It's DTL on a Thursday, live only on Stadium. All right, all you degenerates out there, it's very easy, DG, on a Thursday to forget about college football. But as we focus on Miami, Clemson, and the ACC, we forget about number 19 Pittsburgh. They're playing tonight against a Syracuse team that's 5-1. Pittsburgh is still undefeated. Are we sleeping on a potential upset team going into the playoffs, perhaps?
I don't know if we're sleeping on an upset team. I think Pittsburgh's fine. I think they're a good team. I don't expect them to make really much noise. I just think they're just a kind of steady Eddie team, as a lot of people want to call them.
All right. Big Chuck, is Pittsburgh at 6-0 anybody you're worried about if you're Clemson? It's a supersized conference now.
I think the U and Clemson are the primary focuses in that conference. Pitt's a nice story, though. So as far as they can go, even better. I like them tonight. I think we see a lot of points. They put up a lot of points, but I think the U and Clemson are the primary teams in the ACC.
And Raphael, we talk all the time about style points. And now with 12 teams, when you get Thursday night basically to yourself, you've got to go out there and win. If you're Pittsburgh, they're ranked 19th, but you also got to do it in some style.
Style points, I think, if you're Pittsburgh, throw that out the window. Style your game. Play the game that you want to play. Run the ball. Tick-tock. At Syracuse, look how they played against UNLV. It was a fast-paced game. Bunch of points being scored. I'm leaning towards the under. I think Pittsburgh controls the clock and controls both sides of the ball. Look for Pittsburgh to play their game.
All right. Shout out to my man, Brian. He says, the show doesn't even get started until we're called degenerates. Well, Brian, you guys are our degenerates. You're our crew degenerates, damn it. And we're starting to look at week 8. We've got a lot of NFL discussion coming up on the other side. This is really a pivotal week, guys. It really, really is. And when you get to week 8, you've got injuries, you've got bye weeks. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to pay attention to. So I encourage you to watch every single morning show this week, but also the primetime shows, because we're starting to see now Sunday night, we've got Dallas and San Francisco. We got the Giants in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they're getting a lot of run in prime time, and they're a first-place team. Russell Wilson, welcome back to the show. All right, we are back on Stadium. A lot of NFL. Settle in. Back in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. We are live on a Thursday morning here on Stadium. I got the best crew in the business. DG's here. Raphael is here. My man, Big Chuck, is here. We've done all of the plays. All of our picks are in the bag. Hopefully you guys joined us about 5 minutes ago. But the NFL is always king, and there's always a lot of topics that can lead to how a team performs, which leads to what number do you play? It's time to educate and entertain. Oh, I love that music. And I guess in today's NFL, you're not out of work for too long. And I know there's going to be a lot of other coaches out there, DG, that get pissed off when stories like this happen. But the Green Bay Packers have hired Robert Saleh, who has a really close relationship, we'll call it that, with Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Packers. They're on the road at Jacksonville this week. They are favored. But in an interesting twist, Matt LaFleur has him working with the offense, and he says, I want a defensive-minded coach working with the offense. I'm confused. Does this story confuse you at all?
No, because honestly, usually the smartest people, they want to see how good their offense is. So they want a great mind, which is Robert Saleh, who I think is great on the defensive side. They want him kind of dissecting the offense a little bit more and working on that side. So it only just kind of tweaks those little things and makes him just a little bit better. So I think this is genius. I love the move. When I saw it, I was like, okay, he's thinking ahead. He's always 2 steps ahead, and I like this move.
Yeah, he does seem to be a guy. Now he's got his quarterback. You can see Matt LaFleur, I think, be one of those coaches that's in or at a franchise in a city for a really, really long time. Real quick, shout out to my man Elliot. He says, I'm dropping 5 gifted memberships in the chat if we get to 100 likes on YouTube. We've got well over 700 people watching right now. Almost, we're heading to 1,000 like we always do. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Let's get 5 membership. We started a new thing yesterday thanks to AB. We want everybody to be a member of the crew. So get to 100 likes so Elliot will gift 5 memberships for 5 lucky people. It's all at random. Now, Raphael, let me come over to you. Robert Saleh was unceremoniously kind of dismissed from New York. Everybody blamed Aaron Rodgers. A little bit ironic that he would land back in the place where Aaron Rodgers became famous. But the role that he has, DG just gave his take. I'm a little bit surprised, but maybe Matt LaFleur is smarter than I am.
At first, that's what I caught was, wow, the Aaron Rodgers story followed him to Green Bay. But then I agree with DG. He's 110% right on this one. They have great storylines. They're really close friends. This is just, hey, you know what? Why don't you help my quarterback out, my offense out, show them on the defensive side, maybe they're not seeing on between practices and the defensive side of Green Bay. I thought it was a great move. And what a great storyline move and all that. Maybe because Green Bay's not going to do any trades. They're not going to improve their team. This is a great trade. This is a great pickup for Green Bay.
I think sometimes we forget and we look at a guy who gets fired and say, Big Chuck, oh, well, he's just a crappy coach. When there's a reason he got the head coaching job in the first place. And I think that's what Matt LaFleur, yeah, they're friends, but he would not bring him in and make this a story if he couldn't contribute to a season where it could come down to one game on who wins the division, who goes to the playoffs. They're in the toughest division in all of football.
People forget how coveted Salah was before he went to the Jets. Everybody wanted him. It was like that for a couple of years before he left the 49ers. So I love the move. It would be especially beneficial if they were in if this was a one coming into a division. But unfortunately, the Jets are outside the division. But yeah, it just gives the offense a different look of how the defense is thinking. So I think it's a brilliant move. I always commend the Green Bay Packers coaching staff on the moves that they make. So hopefully it works out for Mr. Salah.
Yeah, I hope so too. Story number 2, as we look at the records in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins are 2-4. And this Sunday, they are home against Arizona. And there was a reason why Tyreek Hill said yesterday, I almost cried. Well, why is he crying, DG? Well, Tua, who's been out since early September with another concussion, apparently the reports are he's been good to go since September 23rd. I don't know if I believe it, but now he's back out on the practice field. He's expected to play this week. How big of a boost do you think this will be?
This is huge. I would cry too if I had to have those backup quarterbacks. Huntley, I believe it was Boyd. Like I would be crying for, it's like Christmas morning. Like you get a gift that you didn't think you were getting. It's now coming back that you had. There's so much happening here. Listen, Tyreek Hill, you're fast, you're emotional. I would cry too. Get Tua back. I think it's a great move. Give him a little extra time too.
He was asked, Raphael, if he would change anything about how he plays, because you never want to fault him, but the concussions that he has had, they're almost the exact same plays every single time. He runs straight up the middle. He slides way too late. Somebody's coming in, they crack him in the head, and then his head hits the ground, and then he stays there concussed. And he said, well, I'm going to try and play a little bit smarter, but I can't change how I play. He has to change. One more concussion, he's done.
I don't know about one more concussion he's done. I almost cried when I watched his press conference. The way he was talking, another concussion, he was like, I'll maybe just take half the year out and I'll come back next year. I don't see him done for a while. Watch his press conference. I watched it twice just because of his demeanor and how he was answering questions. It says, hey, when I tie up my shoes, I know there's a risk going on the field. Everyone that plays NFL football knows there's a risk when they step on the field. I love his driving analogy. We drive all the time. There's a risk on that. The way he was talking, I don't see one more concussion. He's gone. It's going to be a while until he unlaces his shoes.
I'm stunned by you saying that. I thought he might be done with this. The concussions are so bad, Raphael. They're so bad.
Unless they tell him he can no longer play, then okay. But if it's up to him, watching his press conference, I don't see him doing it. I see him playing until he can't play, until they tell him he can't play.
Man, I do not want to see somebody die on the field. And that's kind of the next step. And I hate to say it, but that's just the truth of the matter. Now, topic number 3, Big Chuck. And this one, it didn't surprise me, but it shows how much they're on the same page. The Ravens had a really slow start to the year, 1-2. They are now rolling. And it's thanks to Lamar Jackson, but also thanks to Derrick Henry, who could have been a Cowboy. We're going to say that once a week. It could have been a Cowboy. Shout out to Toby Keith. Now, Lamar Jackson said yesterday that he believes that Derrick Henry, the big boy, the one who's known for like bruising, could break the all-time rushing record if they continue on this pace. Z-Man said last week, at some point, it has to slow down. He hasn't through 7 games, Do you think this onslaught will continue with Derrick Henry as the Ravens have now won 5 in a row?
It just depends on what they look like in a division. The Ravens are usually a team that like to rest the last couple of weeks to the last week. So we'll see where he's at come week 15, 16. So if it's a close division, if the Bengals pick up and everything gets going, we could definitely see him come close. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to potentially rest Mr. Henry, knowing that the playoffs are coming along the way. So that's generally the Harbaugh method when it comes to Ravens seasons.
It begs the question, is there going to be an asterisk, though, DG, besides this? Because we now have 17 games. Through 7 games, 873 yards with 10 games to go. And we know it's just north of 2,000. Should there be an asterisk if he's able to get to that number in a 17-game season?
I think early on we'll see an asterisk. I don't expect this to be like over the course of time. I think an asterisk like that would be removed because we'll have enough of, teams playing and games played with other guys. But a sneaky look on this game or Derrick Henry in general, look at his longest rush. It's 20 and a half. He's hit it every game this season. The dude is a monster. He gets his yards on bulk runs. And so it's just over time. They just keep hammering you. And that big body of his, dude, you don't want to tackle it. And that's what they're kind of hurting, that backfield.
All right, so guys, guess what's happening right now? We might literally in real time. Producer man, I need my one shot. So this is my gorgeous daughter, Kayana. Guess where she's going today, guys? I mean, my life is like flashing before my very eyes. I love you. Travel safe. Tell them where you're going. Tell me where you're going real quick.
I'm going to a college visit.
A college visit? What are we doing? I love you. Travel safe. All right. Oh my goodness. You were just live on Amazon Prime there, sweetheart. There you go. Yeah, she goes, that's crazy. She says, I'm doing great. See? Beautiful daughter. Guys, college visits? Where has my life gone? What has my life become? College visits? Wow.
I'm not ready.
Yours are little. Yours are little.
That scares me.
Brian says, you are old, coach, but aging like a fine freaking wine. Raphael, let me come over to you. Derrick Henry, 873 yards. He's almost been kind of born again, coming to a team that understands him. The Titans never had a passing game. They have Lamar Jackson. I think this was the perfect spot for him. And if anybody's going to break that record now with that extra game, it looks like it could be Derrick Henry.
It could be for him, but I am tired for the Lamar Jackson talk for MVP. Yes, thank you for my one shot. This is my rant right now. Derrick Henry is the MVP. He is 40-1 to win the MVP. 13 quarterbacks are ahead of him to win the MVP. Brock Purdy is ahead of him to win the MVP. The reason why the Ravens are so dominant right now because they're running the ball. Look at those first loss. They didn't run the ball. Now they're running the ball. Derrick Henry is the MVP. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson stinks. He's great. He won the MVP last year. But the guy that's putting him on his back is Derrick Henry, not Lamar Jackson. He deserves the MVP.
1,800 yards. 15 touchdowns, and DG laughing. Why are you laughing at that take, DG?
I love when Raphael gets fired up. Like, that's probably one of my more favorite things, other than maybe Chuck on After Dark. Like, those are my 2 favorite things, and especially when Raphael's calling for his one shot. Is this Coach 2.0? I love it. I love it.
The one shot thing is complete gimmick infringement. I mean, that I almost feel like he needs to give a membership just because of calling out my gimmick. But I respect it, Raphael. I really, really do. And when he gets fired up, like, there we go. See, this is my life in a nutshell right now. We've got dogs barking. We've got kids going to college. Oh, my goodness. Raphael, did you feel good using my gimmick, calling my one shot? Doesn't it feel good? Powerful, right? Powerful.
I did. I felt really good because I'm tired of quarterbacks winning the MVP. There's other players on the team that is an MVP, not because you're a quarterback. Ooh, let me put a pink tank top on practice.
Ooh, let me put a pink tank top on in practice. Raphael, you get all kinds of that hard analysis tonight on Primetime Live right here on Stadium. The show a little bit going off the rails, but this is what we're truly all about. It's about family. It's about pets. It's about crew. It's about all you in the chat. Elliot, thank you for those 5 memberships you just gifted. 5 random people are going to become members of the crew. You get so much extra content. We're about halfway home. It's DTL Live on Stadium. All right, you degenerates, you continue on with us on our YouTube page. And we talked Raphael, about the college game tonight. But tomorrow is really the team that everybody has their eye on, and that is number 17 Boise State on the road in Vegas to take on UNLV. Now, they do have a loss, but when you look at their loss, 37-34 to number 1 Oregon. I don't know that you could have a better loss all season, and if they win out, they will go to the playoffs.
And they only lost to Oregon by a field goal. So it's not like they got blown out by Oregon. So it should be very interesting to see this one. I am so mad that I'm hoping it's raining at Dodger Stadium because I want everyone to watch this game for Boise State and UNLV. It's going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait to watch it.
Did I just say they lost 37-34? Did I say that?
I used the field goal analogy.
Wow. DG, your thoughts?
I love that this is going off the rails so much. I think Boise State is a very good team. I think that UNLV has something to prove, though. Obviously, that backup quarterback. I think could be maybe the more fun games of the week, especially during the middle of the week, where some of these games kind of get off the rails and they're just kind of sluggish. This game could be electric tonight. I don't want it to rain. I want the baseball to happen too, Raphael, but give me both. I love both.
And it's going to have more ratings than a football game.
I know.
Raphael, we also could be seeing the potential Heisman Trophy winner Friday night for Boise as well.
Yeah, I was trying to find, has anyone won a Heisman Trophy running back and a running back for the NFL in the same year as the MVP? I was trying to find that.
I don't know. And I meant to say Charles, but I think I just have Raphael stuck in my head right now. So I apologize. By the way, they're saying that Raphael, your performance today, they think maybe you, like Vince Russo, also took a gummy before the show today.
No,
is that possible?
I haven't slept yet, to be honest with you.
You were up all night making those presidential odds?
Oh my! I think maybe 2 hours I got on the couch.
There's nothing worse than it. I think everybody can relate to this when you haven't slept and like your body starts to do this. And you're like, why did you? You're like 3 seconds behind what your body's doing. Oh. All right. I love this show today. I really do. We're back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right. We have crossed the bottom of the hour. For a lot of you joining us as the live number continues to go up, thank you so very much for making us a part of your day. I am the coach. This is DTL live on Stadium, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Roku TV, WatchStadium.com, or the Stadium app. My crew is all over the Stadium app as well. Now, as you know, NFL is king, and it's king here on DTL. And tonight, gentlemen, as I have DG, Raphael, and Big Chuck on board today, we've got a really big NFC matchup. Don't sleep on the Rams because they're 2-4. They're in a division where the leading team, the Seahawks, are only 4-3. So they're certainly not out of it. Cooper Kupp scheduled to be back. So let's do a little game we like to call the over-under. Keep it very, very simple. And DG, I want to start with you because you got Sam Darnold on one side. You've got Matthew Stafford on the other side. Stafford and Cooper Kupp, their names have been floated out there in trade rumors. Here are their numbers according to DraftKings. Is Sam Darnold going over or under his passing total tonight?
I like Sam Darnold to go over. I think that he has the electricity of a guy like the Justin Jefferson. So I like him to go over tonight.
You're allowed to talk a little bit longer than 8 seconds. So this will be like the shortest segment of all time. But that's okay. I'd rather take shorter than longer. Big Chuck, let me come over to you. Sam Darnold, he's been a surprise. Does he have a lot of passing yards tonight?
I think he does, just because we're going to see plenty of points in this one. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. So anytime you have JJ on one side and then Addison, I definitely like him to surpass 246.5 yards. So yeah, I think he gets closer to 300.
Quick shout out to Mark, Better Days Ahead, gifting 5 premium memberships just now in the chat. I mean, it's been amazing. We want everybody to be a part of it. Thank you guys so very much. Mark, obviously a part of Weekend Wagers, a crew exclusive. See, Mark has ulterior motives. Mark wants everybody to be able to watch him on Weekend Wagers. I get it. I'd do the same thing. I would do the same thing. Raphael, let me come over to you. Sam Darnold, big night for him tonight?
Yeah, I see a big night for both quarterbacks. That's why I think this total creeps up to maybe 49. I think Sam Darnold, a 246.5 redemption game for after the first loss of the season. I think he has a big game. Justin Jefferson also has a big game.
As we go back to last week, the Rams had a very ugly 20-15 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Matthew Stafford, he had a gigantic game, DG. 154 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. How about we have a bounce back for my man tonight?
Well, if you look at the Vikings, they've allowed the second most receiving yards to the wide receiver. And so obviously they're allowing a lot of passing yards. I do think that he could have a decent night. And because we have the potential of them playing from behind, I do like that as well. Just like Raphael was talking about earlier, I do believe that this game could go over, but also the passing yards for both quarterbacks could go on the over as well.
Big Cheesy, DG's partner in crime. He says, hammer that over 238.5. Big Chuck, do you agree?
I love Matthew Stafford over, especially against Flores, who loves to play in a zone, and Stafford's pretty much the number one quarterback against zone defenses. So, plus we get Cooper Kupp back. I love Matthew Stafford to get. I think he also gets close to 300 in this one in a high-scoring game.
Close to 300. Raphael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Stanford more than I like Sam Darnold tonight for passing yards. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and maybe Stanford's auditioning for maybe a new team tonight, so maybe he does put up 300+. Big game for Stanford tonight.
I think this is going to be a sneaky, fun game to watch. I really am. I never like, and it's not our chat because our chat is positive, but so many people come into a game like this like, it's going to stink or it's going to be. I love when people say that because usually, remember the Bucs and the Falcons? Nobody wanted that Thursday night matchup. 66 points. Shout out to my man, Robert, just gifted 5 premium memberships to 5 lucky people. Robert's won like $5,000 the last 2 weeks just from our picks here on the show. So, Robert, thank you for your generosity. Now, let's go to the ground. And tonight we've got 2 dynamic runners. You've got Aaron Jones on one side. You got Kyren Williams on the other. Let's start with Aaron Jones. It's hard to wrap my head around still that he's wearing a Vikings uniform, DG, instead of a Packers uniform. But you got to go where they're going to pay you. He goes over under his total tonight.
Yeah, it's always weird to see Aaron Jones in that Vikings uniform because it doesn't look right. There's something wrong in it. But I believe that Aaron Jones goes over tonight, the 68.5. I just think because the passing will be there, I think good play action is going to create that to allow some running lanes open as well.
Shout out to our main man, Dan Clark, another 5. I feel like I'm at a charity auction right now. 5 more memberships, 5 more memberships. You guys are amazing. I mean, this community is absolutely amazing. It truly, truly is. Big Chuck, coming over to you. Aaron Jones, big game tonight?
I was really looking at him going over, but I think we may stay under. I think the Vikings could be playing from behind in this one against the Rams and have to be more pass oriented. So I'm going to take the contrarian view and go under with Mr. Jones rushing yards.
That might be the nicest contrarian view we've ever heard in my life. Little nugget from Robbie in the chat. He says, Aaron Jones, 60+ rushing yards, minus 127 with FanDuel Boost. If you don't want to use it on him, I still like the 67.5. Opposing backs put up 70 on LA in every game this season. That's a great nugget, Raphael. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Aaron Jones rushing 68.5. I like his longest rush. I don't have the number in front of me. I was looking at that this morning, but I think his longest rush also catches. And I agree. He looks weird in the Vikings. Now, if he scores a touchdown, does he still do a Viking leap to the fans, or he just does nothing?
Well, Saquon Barkley kind of touched on it last week after his game against the Giants. He says everybody blows it out of proportion. When you're in the league, you go where they're going to write you the check, as opposed to not having a place to play. So now Saquon has the Eagles, and now Aaron Jones has the Vikings. I think we forget that. We're like, I can't go to a division rival. You go where they're going to pay you. And if it's a playoff team, even better. Now let's come over to the other side, DG. Kyren Williams of the Rams, over under tonight.
I'm going to go under on the Kyren Williams, under 73.5, just because they could be playing from behind. So the game script plays into my favor, but also Minnesota doesn't allow a lot of rushing yards. And so I see him going under, but a sneaky stat, Mark gave it out in the chat earlier, that Kyren Williams has scored the first team touchdown for the Rams in every single game this year.
Say that again.
Kyren Williams has scored the first team touchdown. So not the first touchdown of the game, but the first team touchdown of every game for the Rams this season. And it's at plus 180, I do believe.
Oh.
Damn, he's not 10-1? Damn.
I was going to look. If you know, you know. Big Chuck, we going over under with Kyren Williams.
I'm going under with Mr. Kyron Williams. I think, like I mentioned before, I think this is going to be more of a pass-oriented game. So I can see him getting close. I definitely love him on any time with him with touchdowns. But I'm going to go with the under 73.5 for Kyron Williams.
My man Vince in the chat says Vikings defense is just nasty. Kyron isn't going over, Raphael.
Yeah, even though I like his rushing attempts, the Funk Master goes under this total. He still gets a lot of balls, but he's not going to go that much. So I'll take Kyron Williams under 73.5. That's his nickname, the Funk Master.
I understand that, Raphael. It's just when you try to sound cool, it just sounds funny to all of us. But don't stop with the hip hop. That sounded awful too. All right, receiving tonight. Arguably the best wide receiver in football plays for the Minnesota Vikings. He got his bag in the offseason. If you watched him on Receivers on Netflix, it's impossible not to like this cat. Justin Jefferson, over under tonight, DG.
We're going to go over. We're going to go to the moon with this one. Take this one up to 100. I think the Jets going to go off. I think offensive players are better on Thursday night than defensive players just because they're more banged up, in my opinion. But I think Justin Jefferson goes over this for sure tonight in Thursday Night Football.
This dude. And we've seen a lot, Charles, we've seen a lot of Justin Jefferson and Anthony Edwards in like cross-promotion commercials, things like that. The Timberwolves are playing tonight. Maybe Justin Jefferson wants to outshine his new best friend tonight.
I love JJ to go off in this one. He's averaging right at 89 yards per game. So getting only needing 85 is a little discount there. He's always the primary weapon of Sam Darnold. So on the fast track in LA, I love this spot for get at least 85 receiving yards.
Big Brett says Funk Master suits you better, Raphael. Maybe that needs to be his new nickname, the Funk Master. Raphael, it kind of rolls off the tongue. Over under with just.
I'm mad that you didn't laugh when Chuck said JJ. Yeah, obviously you didn't laugh at him when he said something, but I agree with JJ and Chuck. He's going flying over this total at 84.5. You know, he scored a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games this year, so bet that anytime TD. Justin Jefferson has a monster game. He can have this number in three receptions.
I feel like your feelings are hurt just a little bit right now, Raphael.
My pillow's calling me.
He's literally going to be in the D's. He's going to be like, I can't make it till 11 o'clock. Nobody stop me. All right, let's go to the other side. This may be the last time that I'll ever be able to say this. Cooper Kupp of the Rams. Do we go over or under his potential last game in a Rams uniform?
I think he's going to go under. It feels nasty to say that because Cooper Kupp is a monster. He's incredible. I just don't know if he's going to play as much. They might be auditioning or maybe to try to make sure they put him on the field, get him out there, getting some plays, make sure everybody sees that he's healthy and what he has potential to do. I just think that he goes under tonight.
That's the thing, Charles, is his numbers into the 60s. We've had numbers on him the last couple of years that were over 100 when he was at his peak, but they may have him on a pitch count. So that may be a reason to play the under.
I love the under in this one. Yeah, normally he's closer to 90, 80. So getting only needing 68, I think they're going to try to feed him as much as possible just in case this is his last game. No, Stafford will definitely want to get him as many touches as possible. So I love Cooper Kupp to get over 67.5 receiving yards against this Vikings defense.
Big Cheesy says Kupp is auditioning as well. I don't know if he has to audition, but what he does need to do, Raphael, is prove to everybody else in the league that he is healthy.
Yeah, I agree. So that's kind of an audition showing everyone that you're healthy on the field. There's 3 teams that are going to be watching this game: Washington, Pittsburgh, and Denver. So those are 3 teams I'm hearing that are trying to get Coop to come in there. So 3 teams watching Cooper Kupp tonight. I think he has a big game for his audition to show everyone, hey, I'm healthy.
It'll be interesting to see what the odds are for the potential teams. Do you know who's the favorite, Raphael, to land potentially Cooper Kupp?
That's 3rd on my list of odds to do today.
All right. As soon as you get them done, send them to me. We'll get them out on social media because we want to get ahead of that number.
Can I take a nap first?
Yes, you can. I'm sorry, you don't even need to get it done till like 3 in the afternoon. I'll give you an hour nap. Isn't it nice to have the guy who makes the odds on your crew? No other show has that. I'll wait. All right. Still to come, we've got the whip around. We're looking ahead to Sunday night, the next primetime show. Having a great time today. It's DTL live in the morning only on Stadium. All right, you degenerates out there, we continue on, and we haven't even really talked about the NBA, but I want to know, of the 4 games tonight, we've got the defending champs, we've got San Antonio, we've got OKC and Denver, we've got the Timberwolves, and Sacktown for my man Big Cheesy. DG, what game are you looking forward to tonight, sir?
You know, it was tough. I really want to see what Denver's going to do, but honestly, it's probably the matchup there in Texas with the Spurs and the Mavs. I want to see Klay Thompson. I want to see just how bad he really is, because I think he's just atrocious still.
Do you really? Interesting. Wow. Charles, what about you? Where are you going tonight for your favorite game on the docket?
Oh, it's got to be OKC and the Nuggets. This could be a West preview. So anytime we could get Shea and Jokic on the same court, oh, I love this matchup.
That'll be the late game on TNT tonight. Oh, the Kings didn't make the TNT cut tonight, Big Cheesy.
That's cold.
Raphael, what do you like tonight?
Wemby's playing tonight, year 2, and he has veteran leadership with CP3 and Harrison Barnes on the team. I want to see what season 2 looks for Wemby. He's bulked up a little bit, if you can tell during the Olympic break. I'm excited to watch Wemby. He is the best player in the NBA right now, period.
Sorry, my earpiece went out for. No. I could have swore you said that Wemby was the best player in the NBA right now. Period.
He is the unicorn of the NBA right now. He can do everything, and he's going to have a monster year. That's why a lot of people are betting him to win the MVP. He's the only player to win the MVP. If the books, it would be in the minus right now if he wins.
DG.
Wemby's great. I like him, but he's not dynamic enough. He won't play enough minutes, honestly, to really just kind of win the MVP. Just get out of here, Raphael.
I agree, but he's still one of the best players. It's not my fault his team stinks.
Austin says, I'm sorry, what? Texas says, Wemby, yeah, let's go. He needs to have that dog in him. And I know he's young and all of it, but he's got to have that dog where he comes out. If you're going to be an MVP and you're going to win the big games and you got to have enough wins to win the MVP, you got to go out there and show me you got that dog. He still doesn't weigh enough to even push guys around to be a dog. He's kind of like a whimpering puppy still. I think you do need some sleep. I really, really do. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody, to DTL Live on Stadium. We've got about 13 minutes left, about 10 minutes left, I guess. And don't forget, we are live every single evening for every single NFL primetime game. Like tonight, we've got the Rams and the Vikings live from LA. We'll be live from 7 to 8 right here on Stadium. Then on Sunday, how about this one, DG? Because normally this is an OG matchup. This is a matchup. You look at these two, you go all the way back to the 80s, and they had unbelievable matchups and games in the playoffs and won Super Bowls. The Cowboys and the 49ers. But now as we come into this Sunday night game, you've got the Cowboys who've been getting raked over the coals, who Jerry Jones just said that Derrick Henry, he wouldn't be playing as well in the Cowboys offense because, quote, we don't run the same offense. Jerry, maybe that's why you guys stink. And then on the other side, you have a 49ers team that is under 500 at 3-4. Debo is in the hospital for pneumonia. You've got CMC out. Ayuk tore his ACL. They are a mess. How do we even approach this game Sunday night for Primetime Live?
The only reason the Cowboys have a chance is because the 49ers are hurt, in all honesty. And I'm a Cowboys fan. Like, the 49ers kick the Cowboys' tail each and every year and every time they play. I do like Kittle a lot in this game. Mason, obviously, running back for 49ers. Should look good tonight or good when they play. But I just don't know if Dallas has enough. Like their defense is so hurt. Like, I just don't know if they have enough to really just combat, even though the 49ers are so hurt. I'm disappointed in what the Cowboys have put on the field.
Nate says Cowboys line is worse than the Ravens line. But Charles, right now, San Francisco, according to ESPN Bet, is -4, the total of 45.5. I'll be honest with you. I like the total in this one. I really, really do. And if Brock Purdy can figure out his receivers, whoever they're going to be, they can certainly score on the Cowboys. And the Cowboys can score on the 49ers. How are you I know it's 3 days away, kind of the early assessment of Sunday Night Football?
Believe it or not, I'm actually liking the Cowboys in this spot. I know the 49ers have owned them over the last few years, but I like them catching that 4.5 in this spot. And I think we may see a lower scoring defensive battle in this one. So with the 49ers banged up, I'm sure the Cowboys will try to keep the ball away from them as much as possible. So, yeah, I love the Cowboys in this spot, catching 4. Plus, they had the extra week off. So the +4, 4.5, and the under in this spot.
They're never going to have a week during the season, Raphael, that they are healthier or feel better than they are right here and right now. And when you're 3-3, it feels like they're so much worse than what they are. And you're giving me 4. It feels like, to me, a pretty good teaser spot. You could take them up to 10. It may go to 4.5, so you go to 10.5. That's what I would do with the Cowboys this weekend.
I agree. If you like the 49ers, bet them now because favorite and over is always the Sunday night game. I'm waiting to see if I can get a better number on the boys. I agree with Big Chuck. I'm looking at the Cowboys. If I can get 5 +5 on the Cowboys who are getting healthier, Parsons is probably going to play this game. I like the Cowboys. What's the best thing to do when you're losing at home all the time? Go on the road and play a team that should have a handicap sticker on their jersey because they have all those guys out.
Have you guys seen that meme that's out there for the 49ers? It's basically the 49ers logo with a person in a wheelchair. And that's kind of their logo. Is actually very, very funny. Texas Joel says, Cowboys are my team, and they're going to get rolled. Thanks, Jerry. I mean, the man's 79 years old. You don't wish anything bad on any, but it's too easy. Sometimes it's just too easy to make fun of a team with Jerry Jones at the helm. All right. There's a lot of you. What a great live number we had today on the show. So a lot of you come in later, or you got to work, or you got, your break underneath the table. We've had people do that before to watch the show. Don't even worry about it. We've got you covered. A little something we like to call the whip around. My man Kevin says the meme of the Cowboys versus the bye week is also funny. Bye week beat the Cowboys 24-17. That's actually hilarious. All right, Charles, I got 4 from you today. A lot of soccer action around the world. You're up.
Europa League, Frankfurt RFS from Latvia, over 3.5 goals, and RFS team total over half a goal. I think they contribute 1. In Germany, Porto, Hoffenheim, both teams are scoring over 2.5. I have a 2-1, 2-1, 2-2 type of final score. Lastly, we go to North London, Tottenham, AZ Alkmaar. Tottenham always score at home, plus they always concede. So love the over 3 in this spot.
I love when you have 2 teams that do exactly what Charles just said. Score a lot, give up a lot. That's what we like to call Disneyland. All right, Raphael, 2 big plays. Talk to me.
We're going to Rams team total under 23.5 as they're landing a plane on my roof right now, -120. They're averaging 19 points per game. I don't think they're going to hit the 20 mark. And then give me the Funkmaster Williams over 18.5 rushing attempts. Even money, he's averaging over 20 rushing attempts at home this year.
You wonder what the game plan will be. It's always funny because you lean into a narrative and either you have a bunch of check marks or a bunch of X's. And I feel like that Kyron Williams over his rush attempts, I think on a Thursday night when teams are trying to get in and get out, that could be a really, really smart play. All right, I've got 4 plays today for myself. Celtics Wizards over 233 -110. Celtics play fast. They're fresh. The Wizards, it's the opening of the season. So we've got no fatigue. They hit 29 3-pointers. Last year when they went to Washington, they had a game that like 3,000 points were scored. I think we sail over this number tonight, over 233, one of 4 games on the NBA slate. Then in Denver, it's the Thunder, it's the Nuggets. Jokic under 26.5 -105. Do not bet behind Jokic for the first month of the season. He doesn't work out. He talks about it. He hates working out in the summer. He uses the first month of the year to get back in shape. We fade him tonight. Then 2 NFL plays. I like the Vikings tonight on the money line. Take the points out of it. They come in, get the job done, -148. And then the Bengals, they're at home Sunday against the Eagles. The Eagles are a sham. They're a sham. They're fake news. And I love the Bengals to kind of get a little roll going because their backs are against the wall. DG, bring us home.
The New York Times bestseller, Never Let a Unicorn Wear a Tutu. We're backing Tutu Atwell tonight, over 36.5 receiving yards. It is now on FanDuel at 31.5 receiving yards. Hammer that. I love it. Then Will Reichert, over 7.5 kicking points at -115. The model has him at 8.1, and so I like him to have a lot of field goals, but also a lot of touchdowns with the extra points tonight.
By the way, right near SoFi Stadium, did you guys see last night? It's kind of, I felt like I was watching a game into the future. DG, did you see the new arena for the Clippers?
Yeah, they have the wall, which is the wall of fans in a sense, which they give them stuff to kind of, it's more collegey, which I love. Anytime you can make it exciting to go to a game, no matter the sport, I love it.
Yeah. It's like 51 rows, and they get picked before the season, and they have to stand the entire game. All right, Rafi's stat of the day today is what, Raphael?
It's day for Thursday Night Football. We're going to go with the LA Rams have lost 18 out of the last 24 games as a home underdog. Since moving to LA, they're 4-9 against the spread as a home underdog. The road favorite could be cashing again tonight.
That is Rafi's stat of the day. Charles, what do you think about that?
I'm surprised to see that when I thought the Rams would have done a little bit better, especially under Sean McVay. I definitely like them in this spot, so we can see a 5-9 under Rafi's stat of the day going forward.
DG, somebody in the chat said if your bets don't hit, you need to wear a tutu on the show tomorrow. I vote for that.
I can wear the tutu. You'll probably never see it because hopefully I'm not waist down. Who knows if I even wear anything. But I do like this. I like this for sure because I like the Vikings tonight.
It always feels like the stat of the day always helps with my mindset for the game that particular night. So thank you, Raphael. We really appreciate that. Now you need to go take it out. How long do you think the nap will last? Because I don't want to text you and wake you up. I don't want to do any of that. How long are we going to be sleeping?
In all seriousness, I have circled at 3:00 today is when I'm going to bed.
All right. I'm going to give you that. Do not forget tomorrow. It's Football Friday. All right? So join us then. In the meantime, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My attacker, love them all. My man from the Dirty Big Chuck. My numbers guy, the Funk Master, Raphael. My man from Memphis, Tennessee, DG, producer man. I'm the coach. Just trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day. It's DTL live only on Stadium.